gross.
On Facebook and as well on Instagram Live. Welcome to the Gross Domesticated Podcast Live. I am your host, Pat George. We go live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11-ish until 1 p.m.
Is
oh,
going.
God damn it. Ugh, God, I hate that shit. All right, let me get the comments up here. Sorry, guys. I had an emergency cuddle sesh with Lord Stanley downstairs. He was in desperate need of cuddles. He just kept following me everywhere. So I had to give my little boy some love because he's got a vet appointment today. And he's really not going to like me later on. So I have to make sure that my kitty cat still loves me. So I wanted to make sure I spend some time with him before the show. Full transparency today. Full transparency. Still doing my third cup of coffee. That's okay, you know. Is it showing up that I'm live? Come on. I don't know what's going on here with Instagram. It's not showing up that I can't read the comments. So today's going to be a hard reading day. All right. GDP Live, like I said, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We go live from Instagram at Baby Mermaid Productions on Instagram, as well as Facebook, Gross Domesticated Podcast page. You can like that page. You can give us a review. You can give us a like. Do whatever you like. Tell your friends. And also, if you like anything that you see here, check out the podcast page, Baby Mermaid Productions, on YouTube. That's where you can find Proper Ebonics, which is a new episode right now. Actually, is premiering on the podcast page or on the YouTube page at Baby Mermaid Productions, as well as anywhere you get your audio podcasts. I feel really frazzled right now. I'm just waiting for Clopoke to pounce. She's been croaking over here she's not like dying, but like literally because she's still lost her voice. She's still having trouble talking because of all the yelling she's been doing at little Lord Stanley. So I've been trying to keep my eye. I have all my drink. I don't know why I have all my drinks on that side too. That's probably not a good idea. Take my keyboard down. Just trying to survive with these kitty cats. But yeah, I was downstairs and went to the bathroom. And as I was going, walking around and stuff like that, he just kept following me. So I was just like, he needs some attention. Then after a while, then he just started biting me. But afterwards, we have a vet appointment for little Lord Stanley. So I needed to do that. So it threw me off my game. It's Wednesday. I feel like Wednesday is my Monday. Hey, Ma, how's it going? Wednesday feels like my Monday. Wednesday's my hardest day. I don't know why. I don't know if it's like it's maybe just because I've also made it my hardest day. Like I've invented that reality. It's tough. I don't know why. Am I even live on Instagram right now? I can't see that. I can't access my live thing on anything else, so I can't really read the comments so much. So if you're pounding off, it might just be easier to ask to join today because it's gonna be hard to read all that stuff. But I was thrown off a little bit by little Lord Stanley this morning, so that mixed with just having the other kitty cat ready to pounce. I think they've kind of successfully figured out their territories, essentially. Hold on. Okay. Yeah. There. Yeah. I just wanted to make sure. I can't read. John's here. All right. Cool. More people are piling in. I'm a little bit tardy today. I'm catching everybody up on why I'm tardy. John Montag's here. I was talking to some of the peeps. Actually, I was texting back and forth before the show, and I was talking to John Montag, AskPro, GDPeep himself, Art Dick. He he did a great job with the Photoshop, obviously today, and we were talking a little bit about it. I was also talking to Ron Barindro, Premium Big Preems, and it's funny because hold on, I think she's sleeping, so I think we're gonna be okay. Club Oak is sleeping right now, so I'm gonna get my thing here to see if I can pull up the live on the desktop. I can't get the comments here. I don't know what's going on, guys. either the internet sucks today. Maybe just I don't know. I was talking about how shitty my Wednesdays usually are. I'm here. Sorry, I was dealing with a job that pays me. Oh, Pat, you're a little tardy every day. That's funny, John. Uh, see, this is gonna be hard to. See now, now that I see if I don't pound off too hard. Don't pound off too hard. Just it's just gonna be easier to uh to ask to join today. Just to follow just to catch everybody up. But it's Wednesday. I'm here in the Caddick, Dobby Robertson Memorial Caddick. I'm keeping an eye on Clopoke. I'm snuggling with Lord Stanley downstairs, and I'm just trying to make sure that I get my notes together. I had to get the description going, everything. It's just, man, sleepy Wednesday. I think the no jujitsu thing is starting to catch up again too, mentally. So it's kind of like, oh well, if I don't have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go do jujitsu, then what? I have until 11, and then it's like, oh shit, it's 10:47. Consistency. But I will say that usually I'm pretty good even at the last minute. I'm kind of a at the buzzer Pat. You know what I mean? In most cases, like testing, anything like that growing up, I feel like a lot of times I would be like, oh yeah, like I'll yeah, I'll do that. Like even the sumo match. I was really ready to do all this like research and everything like that, but I'm like, maybe I'll just wing it too. But I'm not. Because I want to actually like, you know, pay due respect to the match that I'm gonna be I'm gonna be doing with hey, what's up? How's it going, Kev? Kev Brosh is here. Pounding off in the Instagram. Hold on a second. We got some more. I sat in bed for 2 hours. Yeah, see, that's what I was saying. We're talking Ron and I were talking about it. He's like, oh yeah, I sat in bed for 2 hours for the first 2 hours today, just playing on my phone. I was like, yeah, dude, like I just like this morning I just kept hitting snooze. It's like it's just unconsciously Wednesdays just seem to be like the fucking toughest day. It's weird. But yeah, so like I try I try to well, I fucking lost my train of thought, of course. My babe Patty, PG rated TV. Hell yeah, buddy. Heck yeah, dude. PG. I just basically I woke up today and just kind of like just kept hitting snooze, just kept fucking like wanting to go back to sleep and everything like that. Uh and then when I was downstairs snuggling with Stanley, I realized, holy shit, I'm running a little bit late. And then ended up also. Then I also figured this too. I wanted to curve that 12:30 piss, so I was thinking about that. So I'm talking with Tehran about that stuff. But even funnier, before that, I was talking about Ron, not in a bad way, in a good way. Uh, John John Montag, friend of the show, and I were chatting back and forth about how good of a person Ron is, but like to us. I don't I've never met Big Preem, Ron Barindro, Premium Ron on in the chat ever in person, but he's really a nice, like he's super genuine. He's a good person, a great artist, and and also like very much on the same wavelength, I think, mentally. Even as far as like having a sluggish day. Maybe we're of the same, I don't know, what's the I just looked at Chloe. I don't mind you being you can be a co-host. I'll get you a mic. You just gotta let me know. She keeps eyeing me. What? No, we're on the same wavelength as far as it's so much so that I was at the grocery store, or not the grocery store, not even, Target, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot we were talking about snack cakes, and I was like, yeah, maybe I should pick up some of those snack cakes. Maybe I'll pick up some zebra cakes, Swiss cake rolls. Oh mama, that fucking I like I didn't end up having them for breakfast, which is nice, but uh I still have them in the house. So I want to hold on a second. I gotta fucking figure out why this is not coming up here. I can't check the. Kevin says, do days seem different when you think of them as reacting to cycling weeks? Days should have a number 1 to 365. Today is day 39. Oh, I like that. That's a good theory. Sorry, like I said, I can't. I'm having a hard time reading the comments today in the Instagram. So if you want to pound off, it's going to be better to do it live. So it's better to ask to join, and your audio will be featured on the video for the YouTube and the Facebook, but it will be deleted after the Instagram today because I delete it every day, which I don't know. I mean, I haven't really tracked that, but I like the pounding off, and I like being able to read that. But with it's hard enough to read anyway, and if I'm already off, reading today is going to be tough. That's why I wanted to make sure I had my notes ready. I had everything ready. I was fine taking it slow today, but I didn't mean for it to be, oh yeah, now you're half an hour late. But like I had that 12:30 piss on my mind. That 12:30 piss always comes up, and it's like literally 12:30 on the dot. So I still haven't even started my full third cup, which I don't even think I'm gonna actually. I probably that's gonna get cold because I'm soloing it today. So I don't know if I'm gonna have time to drink that coffee. So we might switch to the water, which is not gonna help me not having to pee. But oh man, but yeah, I wanted to make sure. So if you want to ask to join every, like I said, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday when we go live, GDP live, you can join in with your audio only. You can pound off, and usually I'm able to read it, or I'm able to get another device close enough to my eyes that I can see a lot better. But today's it's just not happening. Also, I feel like the snack, it's so weird because it's been such a long time since I've had, not since I've had like a snack cake like that. I'll grab a candy bar or a tasty cake or cupcake, donut, stuff like that every once in a while. I'll indulge with the sweet tooth bullshit. But if it's in the house, like that, and I knew what I was doing, but I couldn't find boxes of zebra cakes. I could find boxes of the Swiss cake rolls. So we were talking about it on the last show. Or actually, I don't. Yeah, we were talking about it because I was mentioning all of those top 10, or like what is it like? It's a 1 through 9 list, and they're like uh only two can survive. You have to pick the two, and everybody is always like, I'm always like shocked that somebody's like, you would pick fruit roll up over like a Suzy Q or something like that. Like, are you kidding me? But I'm a big fan of that. But then you just find out there's regional loves for each of those snacks. Like there's like the fucking like a whoopie pie is essentially just a Suzy Q. It's just two different sounds with your mouth. That's all it is. That sounds weird. That's a weird way to explain it. But like that, the Swiss cake rolls, it's a weird reaction. It's not just like eating. I think a good reason, like a feeling I haven't had. It's weird. A sensation I haven't had in a while is the weird like heartburn that like I think it's the cream filling that they put in it. It's whatever chemical that they use to preserve the Swiss cake rolls that I my body has so it's forgotten so much that it's like I downed I think two or three packages yesterday of those, which is again not going crazy, but that's in addition to a giant zebra cake and those Dunkaroos that I got. It was off the rails, but I like it's been a while since I've done that. I kind of indulged in that. Like I was like, it didn't feel like necessarily like even like a cheat day. It was a thing where I was like, oh yeah, like fuck yeah, I miss like zebra cakes and now I remember no, I don't miss that because it makes my heart hurt. It gives me a tummy ache. That's like it's weird, but it's still like one of those. It's a sensation that like it's a nostalgia in a way. That's hard to say. It's a nostalgia, it's like a nostalgia, whatever. But it's like I'm also I realize it's ridiculous. I'm a 34-year-old man eating Dunkaroos. I'm not even going to say this, like the Swiss cake rolls and the zebra cakes. I feel like there's no age limit on those. Dunkaroos, I feel like there's got to be an age limit, but it's a nostalgic treat because like the youths nowadays, they don't know about Dunkaroos unless there's new advertising for it. But as far as I know, that's supposed to be like, hey, you remember this? Remember this shit? And yes, I do, and I love it. It's weird. It's shitty little vanilla cookies and like the worst frosting ever. It's the worst best frost. You know what I mean? Like it's the kind that you can just buy, and then it's almost like it's almost like the chemical reaction of like you just can't stop. It's like quicksand. Like it's nonstop. So I don't know if it's like a. It just seems like it's a. It's like Dunkaroos or um. I was always that version of sweet dippy treat. That one they also had the chocolate frosting, if I remember correctly, for a short time. But the whatever is back or whatever is in circulate. This might just be leftover Dunkaroos that they had from before that they're just repurposing. This could just be the same. It's just the regular uh jar frosting or whatever, like little canister frosting and vanilla cookie things, but like it's fucking awesome. But once you start eating, it's like you just can't stop. It just, or maybe it's just me. That's the thing is like I'm saying, I'm doing it like I'm doing an advertisement for them, like saying like once you start, you just can't stop eating these things. But I like literally that's the case. I can't with the Swiss cake rolls though. It's just the sensation of it. But the first one, the funniest thing was the first one was I opened the package and I didn't even take a bite. Like I just went the whole thing in one whole Swiss cake roll down the gullet. No, I mean that not like just like not like down the throat, but the whole thing in my mouth. Mamma mia! It was fantastic. But then, like I said, not like then it's done. That's the problem. Is it's the I think that's the reason why not a lot of people bring up the observation of the fact that like when people have like food addiction or some kind of food compulsion in that sense that like it's about like it's really bad because you need food to live. Like yes, that is one of the reasons why it's bad, but it's not you don't need Swiss cake rolls, you don't need Dunkaroos or Suzy Q's or any of those any ooze at all to survive. Those are not necessary things for you to live. But the problem is uh the high or the sensation or whatever doesn't even last as long. Like crack at least lasts. I don't know what like there was a a show I was listening to. I don't even know how that even came up, but they were just talking about I think different drugs and sensations, like how long they last. And like considering it the with a Swiss cake roll or anything like that, as soon as the package is done, it's done, then it's over. So it's and when you're indulging in that thing, you usually you're not like let me just indulge this, like just really kind of sink my teeth into the. It's not like it is in the commercials. It's frantic. It's in your car, you know. It's in the car just eating, and that's the thing is it's not it's the sensation, but then it's like oh the taste you're like awesome, and then it's gone, and you're like oh now it's just gonna give me heartburn. At least with like a savory food or something like that, you get the burps. I don't enjoy a sweet burp. If you have cake or ice cream or anything like that, and you burp that up later on like a frosty, I had a Frosty recently too. I indulged myself quite a bit in the sugar lately, and I think it's coming down from the holiday. Uh, just trying to come back into. I'm not going to go into beach season. Uh, you know, like completely unless I stop buying boxes of which is, by the way, I bought one box of Swiss cake rolls, but I've still focused on, like, don't let that be the first thing you put in your body for the day. Okay. Still try to cut it off at 8 o'clock. So try to eat as many Swiss cake rolls as you can before 8 p.m. Because you're intermittent fasting. You got to be responsible. So it's still in the realm of Pat, you know, but it's not fully realized. Uh, like it's not healthy eating by any means, but I think that's the dastardly thing with being maybe like a compulsive or addictive eater or something like that, is not just the fact that, like, you need it to survive, because, to be honest, you don't need junk food to survive, but it's the fact that you need um it's more of the fact that you need you like that sensation. So it's not like I'm looking back at that at, like, eating that Swiss cake roll and going like, man, oh man, wonderful. It's like, man, why did I eat that? But it's also like, man, it was in that, like, moment. That's the problem. It's even like a I never understood why people did salvia. Salvia is a thing where, like, I think you smoke it, and then, like, for uh it's for like a couple minutes or something like that. You just have the sensation that you're dying, or that you're going to die, or that you're in the realm of death, or it's uncontrollable, that everything is the worst, and nothing is good. It's like, I don't understand why people do it, because, like, and that's how it's explained to people, and then they're like, "Whoa, sweet." at, at least with the drugs that, for the most part, that I've been drawn to or interested in, like, there's an appeal. I don't want to do heroin. I have no interest in doing heroin, but there is a thing where, like, oh man, people that do heroin, they're like, man, when you do that, it's like, whew, awesome. But then it's like, it's awesome for like a time. You get to, like, you're away. That's like the kind of addiction like that. When you take a bite of Swiss cake roll, it's not like you're like, I mean, you kind of are, but if it's me, it's this weird, like, "Gah." So it's I think that's the true downfall, is that, and that's where a lot of the it's after the fact of, even, like, still saying, like, well, I still have to try to be somewhat responsible or present of what I'm doing. So, like, I'm going to stop eating shit. I'm eating shit today. Fine. I'll accept it. I'll just eat shit today. Literally, I'm just going to eat garbage. Hardee's, fucking Swiss cake rolls, like, just let's fucking kill it. But then, stop at 8, and then, rest, have some water, like, still drink water today, stuff like that. Like, there's still, it still knows that I still know that I'm not completely off the rails, even the fact that there's remaining Swiss cake rolls in the kitchen. The majority of the box remains, but that could have been a lot of the Dunkaroo Ponds, or the giant zebra cake, taking a lot of that, the brunt of that. You know what I mean? So the true test is today. Didn't have it with my coffee. Love a sweet treat with my coffee, but there's no substance. It's almost like cotton candy. It's so weird. It's instantly gone. As soon as it touches my tongue, it's like, whoa, just. I'm gonna try to catch up a little bit here on the comments. Do I fry? Do you wait? Do I dip my fries in my frosty? No, I don't do that, actually. I used to dip a salty and sweet. See, that's the thing. We got pounding. Luckily, it's a self-contained pound. I believe within the Peeps, but they are discussing the age-old question of dipping fries in Frosties, and I don't really. It's the weirdest thing because it's the same way. It's the same frustration I have with Dominique when she says, "I don't like chocolate or cake," but I love chocolate cake. So, uh, I don't know. I don't know how that works because I feel like that seems like it's a. So I don't like salty and sweet, but I except for when it's chocolate covered pretzels, which is like the saltiest, sweetest thing. But it is usually dark chocolate covered, like those flips, whatever those. You can buy a bag of them. Obviously, I like the if I'm in Philadelphia or I'm in Pennsylvania in the pretzel capital of America, I probably will like any brand of locally made chocolate covered pretzel is going to be amazing. Chocolate covered pretzel. If Genuine Pat is allowed to show up right now, I know Out of It Pat was here for a little bit, but Genuine Pat's here. Chocolate covered pretzels fucking rule. It's probably the greatest snack in existence. Not like as far as like scratching that itch. You don't have to go back and forth. If I'm gonna eat, oh, I'm gonna have some Doritos. Now I'm gonna have uh some dark chocolate. I'm gonna have some whatever. Not that I want dark chocolate covered Doritos, but if you want a salty sweet, boosh. There you go. So it's like I don't like salty sweet. Like I don't like I don't love I hate caramel for the most part, but I don't mind it in things or part of like obviously I like the Samoa cookies. So those are caramel, but I never think of those as caramel. I always think of them as more coconutty, a coconut chocolate treat. But there is caramel also. But I don't necessarily go to sea salt covered caramels. You know what I mean? Like I don't like that shit. But if like I don't like salty or sweet unless so I think how I can understand the fact that she would say something like I don't like chocolate or cake, but like chocolate cake is the shit. Like, oh yeah, I get it. I don't like salty and sweet unless it's the best salty and sweet combination ever. Do you understand? Chocolate covered so like dipping a fry into a frosty is kind of like I don't know. I just feel like you're putting like a little bit of like also their fries are like very inconsistent. Like Wendy's fries oftentimes can be soggy, but if you had a nice firm fry that you could dip in there, maybe White Castle fries. Those are usually the crinkle fries, and they are almost always somewhat stiff, extra done, medium. I remember when I worked at McDonald's early on. That was my first job ever. I worked at a McDonald's, and I remember one person came through. One lady wanted one large order of uh fries, not salted, and I was like, "What the fuck?" So they had to do a whole order, like a whole basket of fries, a whole new thing of fries. They had to take all the other fries out. They did a whole brand new thing of fries, and just so they wouldn't salt them, and get just for that one order, and then the rest of them they salted, and then like that was nuts. But then I was like, oh, that's because she wants them fresh. This bitch is fucking brilliant. And I don't even remember if it was like whoever thought of that was like she's a genius. This is incredible. But everybody else was like, that's the point. Everybody was saying like, bitch, fucking asshole, motherfucking, and it was like a Saturday or something like that. And I was like, she's if she's a bitch, that's the smartest bitch that like you need to respect that bitch because that's incredible. Checkers fries in a frosty would be too spicy. That's too much. It's too much crossover. Plus, there's too much particulate on the outside. You need a nice smooth fry to go in there. If I'm guessing, I don't know. Do you scoop the frosty with it? I don't know. I always thought that I always compared a frosty to a milkshake, And then when I just recently got this Frosty, I tried to drink it with a straw. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Also very much impossible trying to eat a Frosty with a spoon in the car while driving. Order unsalted fries, get fresh fries, ask for a side of salt, enjoy your meal. Yeah. Also enjoy probably something else that they fucked with in your meal too. Because nobody was really happy about that. They had to like try to clean out the tray of any salt that was in the actual thing. They had to. All right, cool. Recording next episode of Proper Ebonics. Sorry, getting some breaking production news as we speak. I think it's a good. I mean, it's like it's the best. That's what it's supposed to be. Like people don't realize that fast food was supposed to be. They're able to cook your food fast. It's a new bandana. It is a new bandana. It looks good. Thank you very much. I bought it yesterday. I was going around. I got some things. I had to. We were discussing actually yesterday afternoon. My wife George and I were discussing about getting one of those. What's it called? For our masks. I kept getting caught in the dryer, and I was like, like they would get caught, and then the strap would get stuck in the thing, and then it would twist, and then it'd stretch it out, and then one half of your mask is kind of like a little bit off. So I found a couple of those dryer bags that you can like. It's almost just something you zip it up in. And as I was I think it was at Target. As I was walking back, it was in the ladies section. There was red bandanas. I was like, well, I'm not a blood. There was blue. I said, I already got one of them. So I saw green and I was like, there we go. That's my guy. So it's a nice foresty kind of green. It almost looks gray, but it's not. It's actually here. Let me get a little closer. It's a little, see that? I didn't really line up the pattern perfectly, but hey, it's sporadic, you know? It's good. And thank you very much for noticing, wife. Uh, but yeah, I was, I forgot. God damn it. I forgot what I was talking about again. Oh, no, the Frosty thing. So I don't know. I it's very much hard to try to drink a Frosty unless it sits for quite a while. And ultimately I'm not a guy that combos it up with anything else. I don't dip any other salty food. I'm not a guy that like puts ice cream on a salty thing. Like I don't have a tuna fish and, you know, ice cream sandwich. Which sounds disgusting, I know, but I'm sure there's somebody that actually likes that. Uh, Mom pounding off in Facebook comments. They're fans of, and this is something I heard recently on an episode of Something's Burning with Bert Kreischer, his cooking show that he does. He had his sisters on. They're all from Florida. They grew up in Florida, and they were talking about peanut butter, not peanut butter, mayonnaise and banana sandwiches. And because they were making, they were going to make Cuban sandwiches with tostones, which is the squished plantains fried up, and they kept coating them in mayonnaise and deep frying them in mayonnaise, which it sounded disgusting to me. But they're also like they're talking about a thing that people in my family have eaten, combinations of peanut butter and mayonnaise sandwiches, I think ketchup and no, peanut butter and mayonnaise. Yeah, peanut butter and mayonnaise sandwiches, right? Like I believe that was a combination. Either way, it's like that level of mayo that made me think of like, oh yeah, they're like, is this like grandma's mayonnaise and peanut butter or mayonnaise and banana sandwiches or something like that. And then Elvis, that's hey, look, if it's good enough for the king, that's why you can't hate. Mayonnaise. Yeah. Mayonnaise. Absolutely. Kevin Brush is pounding off pretty hard there. That's my wife, mayonnaise. My next wife. After Dom leaves me for a better bandana man. Try to find one though. I think we were talking about Stanley's vet visit and they asked if they don't be giving out our secret recipes. It's not a recipe if it's just if it's just two things, right? Is that a recipe? You just invented from the what is that? You just invented the form Florida or the term Florida palate. Okay, Jesus Christ. Never, you're the greatest band anime. Oh, thanks, wife. Appreciate it. Pounding off hard. Cricket's pounding off in the comments. It's not a secret recipe. It's okay. It's just a tip for the kitchen. Cats are fighting. I heard one yell. If I hear another yell, I might have to go down and check. So I might have to play some hold music. He's just anxious about his vet visit. I took the cat carrier out, and sometimes if they try to get past the like they walk past if they're both checking something out, kind of startle each other. I don't think it's necessarily as far as ongoing behavioral shit, but I don't know. But Stanley's vet visit is coming up, and they asked if we wanted to see the doc. It's been weird. His last vet visit got rescheduled because of the snow. They ended up getting snowed out. So when that happened, they said because we also accidentally have been we've been inadvertently putting off his Chloe's bill when we took her to the vet just recently because of her losing her voice because of screaming at at Stanley downstairs. Um, they they were like, okay, well, yeah, we're like, we'll just pay you. We're going to be back with Stanley in a couple days. Can we we'll settle everything up at that time? They're like, yeah, that's fine. So since they did that, this is the same vet that asked at the end of our visit if we wanted to pay then or if we wanted to pay at another time. And I was just like, if I'm picking, never. We can just go never. Because even at that time, that's when Chloe was pissing on shit, pissing on not just her shit, just on our shit. And we were like, oh, this could be health or behavioral. And it was behavioral. So then we took her for her throat thing because we're like, oh my God, what if this is an upper respiratory thing and it's behavioral? So we just need to really, I think the next trip we need to make for Chloe and the next appointment would be for a kitty cat psychologist. Because I think whatever this is not like regular cat stuff, or it is regular cat stuff being so the enemy of consistency is absolutely cats. I've realized this via Stanley needing cuddles ahead of time because hey, I felt bad. Hey, I wanna spend time with them before. Chloe's usually up here for the whole show. We see what happens when she's not. You know, trying to be good to both of them. So either way, if you want to have a happy kitty household, you would think you try to give them equal attention. No such thing. You try to take them to the vet. It's weird. Even when Dobby was around and we would take one of them to the vet, when the other one came back, they would be like, "Fuck you! What do you do? You're weird. You smell different." So like any of the stuff, when you go like, "Oh yeah, well we got everything figured out," every once in a while, like I yesterday, I realized Stanley just right in. I was standing in the bathroom, and he just pisses on there's a towel on the ground. He's just pissing on it, and I go, "Oh yeah, I forget that cats just do that sometimes." I don't know if he's telling me something or if he's doing what, but he's going to the vet today. So either way, get out of your system, buddy. We're taking you there anyway. If he starts behavioral shit though, god damn it, I don't need a kitten's behavioral problems. I bet you just become a certified cat therapist online. Yeah, maybe. Could yeah, I'm sure you can get probably the same place. It might be the same online course you take to become like a online preacher or whatever through the Church of like the universe or whatever. I don't know, but I Maybe they're just jealous because I'm not sharing any of the shitty cakes with them. I mean, they for the most part they're like that was my mistake though. That was my mistake when I was thinking like, yeah, we'll get another kitten. Worst case scenario, there's enough house. There's plenty of room, but the common areas are still the same. You still have to try to get them used to each other. So there's going to be times where they have to interact. So I think actually there being so much room might actually end up being a hindrance because it's it's the fact that this like Stanley very rarely comes up here unless we actually physically carry him up here. Then that so it seems like it's pretty established that this is Chloe's area, Chloe and Dobby's area. So and then downstairs, the living room is where he spent most of Kitten quarantine. That's where he kind of that's so anytime she kind of either cuts through there or wants to hang out in there, he gets kind of weird and protective. So like we got it's weird. They have like they have a Glade plug-in or like the Bath and Body Works plug-in things, the little Scentsy things you can put into the wall and it like makes it smell like a thing. There's like cat pheromone things, like cat calming shit that they said would work. And for the most part, I think has, unless it's not. I mean, but there's still incidents. You know what I mean? Like, so I think it's ultimately going to come down to once we cut off his little kitten McNuggets. I think that's going to help quite a bit of at least her just being like what the fuck? Because I think we have a super, uh, somewhat, I guess maybe let's say super rambunctious, somewhat territorial kitty cat boy that has claimed one room of the house, and then we have a obviously very territorial. Uh, I mean, still hormonal, even though very much spayed in her youth. We got her double spayed. They took everything they could, and still keeping her alive out, just in case, because she's a demon kitty cat. She's truly wild, and even though I felt like I've been giving them equal attention. I still feel like I think it's the kitten McNugget problem. But cats do what cats do what cats do because they're cats. Yeah, exactly. Cats are ultimately the uh, the enemy of, like I said, of consistency, of like and really ultimately there's somewhat of a timeline, but especially when he's growing up, I feel like Stanley is not necessarily adapting to our schedule, except for in his own way. So his schedule, he still got the cat diffuse. I think it's called diffuser. It's supposed to be diffuser, hormone bullshit, whatever. And they have it like they said it could eliminate zoomies and like all these other things, all these little like kitten traits. It could that and I was like, oh well, Chloe like Chloe would be happy with that, but Dom was like, well, I like his zoomies. Like I was like, yeah, but they happen usually when we're trying to go to bed, and even though they're funny, it never. It's so funny how like he's almost the exact adaptation of like what how Sour Patch Kids are represented. Every time you see the commercials for the Sour Patch Kids, where like he'll like fuck up my hand. He'll scratch like the inside, the like one of the like he'll scratch the inside of my finger or like in the web or something like that. He'll like catch me under a nail with a claw or something like that. And but then like 2 seconds later does something immensely adorable. Or gives you a little kiss on the head or something like that. It's very much uh and then you have to remember like he's a fucking animal. I mean, yeah, I'm an animal, but and the problem is I don't know. I don't know. With my vast knowledge of kitty cats over the years, I still have quite a bit to learn when it comes to like
if Chloe's close to 10 years, she's like 9 years old, something like that, 9 or 10. So if she's that old and he's a couple weeks, he's not. I think he's not even old enough to get neutered yet. So obviously, it's about, like, I don't know. I know enough about her personality with me, her relationship with me, but I don't know as far as like her cat development, because that's one thing I learned with Stanley is like the importance. The reason the kitten food is so important is because there's actual things in the kitten food that's supposed to help them uh like actually develop as kittens. And also, a lot of the times it's about realizing when Stanley is not just uh staring at her getting ready to attack or pounce, but also just like watching what she's doing and learning from what she's doing. So the reason Dobby, I feel like, was so so kind of touched in the head was a lot of times was the fact that maybe he didn't fully develop as a kitten because he wasn't given the proper nutrition and or whatever early on. We didn't pay attention to that, and I think even before he came to us, he wasn't necessarily getting all that. And that's just something from inexperience. That's something you're just realizing, like, oh yeah, because like you eat a thing and then you grow up and you get the vitamins help you and then they make your organs good and stuff, and that's cool. It's like stuff like that. Like with Chloe, we got Chloe at such an early age that or no, not it was Zeke. The first kitty cat that I got on my own was Zeke. Ezekiel was his name, but I call him Zeke. And I actually got him. We were visiting some friends of ours. I can't remember what it was. I think it was a girl I was dating at the time. She was like, "Oh, a friend of mine said this cat by his house just had kittens." And she's like, "Do you want to go check him out?" I was like, "Hell yeah, of course. Are you kidding me?" And then I was like, no, she's like, "Can you pick me up from there?" And when I picked him up, or when I picked her up, I was like, "Oh, this guy, I think he's like interested in her." And he was like, "Oh yeah," and I was like, "Okay, whatever, dude." And then I was like, saw Zeke, and I was like, "Let me look at him. Oh, he's so cute." And I just got in my car, and he's like, "Well, I don't know if you could take him or what." I was like, "No, I could probably just take him." I was like, "I could take him now. It's fine." And he's like, "Oh." So I just stole a kitten from him, which is like in hindsight, I was the if this was Cobra Kai, I would be the Ralph Macchio character. I thought I was the hero in the moment, but I straight up took a kitten, probably, and what I think ended up being too soon from its mom. So, but luckily, I left there, headed right to Walmart, and ended up getting and got formula, got the stuff to bottle feed him, wiped his little butt, did all that stuff, raised him from a kitten, just a little baby. But I still don't know if I fed him kitten food long enough because, or I think, again, he was living with older cats. Maybe you're more interested in that food. You're not really so focused on trying to get them comfortable. And they react somewhat to your emotions. So if I'm just frantically eating Swiss cake rolls, they're not going to be getting along. These kittens of ours, I'm saying right now, present day. Headed back to Zeke though. I think that even though I did that, I didn't do it at the right time. Like there wasn't as much. I didn't do as much of the or I didn't do as much of the research and find the information that I needed to uh, take care of and fully develop a kitten from like it still simulating what I wasn't able to give it what it would have gotten from its mom if it would have stayed there for a little bit longer. Even though I think he had a nice long full life, like it ended abruptly, but it was a thing where like he was a good cat, he was loyal, he's nice, but then when we started introducing the other kittens to him, like then that was another time, like that was an opportunity to learn for this scenario. So we did do, like, we had him in kitten quarantine. We kept him away from hers to in case there was, until he got checked out and all that stuff and everything got cleared. We tried to feed them on opposite sides of the door, all that stuff, and get them used to each other. But ultimately, just them coexisting and just being on two completely different kitty cat wavelengths. They'll match up. They both really like. They actually fight pretty consistently to how Dobby and her would fight during feeding time, except for it is one of the most adorable things that I've experienced as a pet owner. But it would be they're both very excited. You know, once you hear the little can crack open or you see me getting the dishes prepared or something like that, they start swarming and they're circling. And if they happen to cross paths, they might hiss or swipe at each other a little bit. Well, really, it's Chloe swiping at Stanley. Uh, whenever she does that, he kind of freaks out and then runs over to me and hides behind my legs. So it's very much cute. That's a very cute thing. But that's the dynamic. I don't understand why that's not like why does it have to go past that? And that's the part of kitty cats that is a mystery to me still. Why does it get to the point where they're like I can hear them on the other floor of the house with headphones on? Like I had both of my headphones on when I heard that. That's why I took the other one off so I could hear it a little bit better in case it's something I have to break up. Because in our research in getting Stanley and trying to learn how to get them used to each other, her and Stanley and Chloe, I would try to have some kind of we try to do the research of figuring out like what is what like they're not just playing. Like if you hear them hissing or screaming at each other, or growling at each other, staring at each other. Like these are all signs of things that are like they could be, but you kind of like I said, there's times where I see Stanley kind of just watching her, and there's times where he's like looking at her. We call it Dom and I call it being sneaky. We tell him not to be sneaky because he gets his ears flat and he like wiggles his butt, tries to get flat and hide. But like stuff like that, they're like if you hear them arguing like that, like it's not just like usually it's not just going to resolve itself. You should try to break it up. You're supposed to like make loud noises, clap, get they said it's so fucking hilarious. This they suggested compressed air. Like they said compressed air, which is basically going pss, pss. It's essentially that. But that's they suggested a thing that was like, yeah, you fucking rookies. No shit. Oh, what are you gonna tell me next? Just squirt bottle? Duh. So there's things that like so I don't know and then also like how much time we're being out of the house. Like I don't know what happens. I don't like it's a true fear. This is funny because it's my fear of I don't know if there's a phobia for it. I feel like I have if I were to have any self-diagnosed phobias, and we know how much everybody loves a nice self-diagnosed phobia, but or condition. I have OCD. I have whatever. But if I were to, I definitely have a fear of structural integrity, and I think that's from a lifelong of being obese and sitting in chairs. Anytime I sat in wicker chairs, whew, bad news, baby. Um, I ruined many a chair at my in-laws in South Florida. Bad news. So it's a fear of structural integrity, and I feel like I have a fear of static camera footage of like a security cam, like a steady cam. Like I know I did the time lapse of the snow video, which is featured on the Baby Mermaid Productions YouTube page. You can check it out there. But also, I think it's a fear that it's probably, and it's not necessarily a fear. It's like an anxiety. It's like a weird anticipation that's felt when you're watching a static cam of something. And it may stem somewhat from watching a bunch of those top 5 ghost videos on YouTube or any kind of thing like that. But there's a weird anxiety that I would have if I set up a camera, because like just to observe the cats or something like that, that I would be it would be constantly going like, oh my god, what was that? Was that a shadow? Well, was that a car? Was that a bug? Is that dust? or is that a ghost? Bug, dust, or ghost? That's a weird game, but I'll play it. So I don't think there's I don't think there's anything that can be done at this point on our side except for to continue to break them up. It's just a fucking headache when it's like every day that there's somewhat of a event, like somewhat of an incident of them screaming at each other or are like chasing each other like that and not playing. It'd be one thing if they were like just I don't know. Maybe, and like I said, if it's his kitten McNuggets that need to go, then let's go. Let's take him off. But I think we're doing everything on our side at least to make sure that we at least I don't know, but I'm gonna ask him today at his vet visit because there's got to be something done. Like when you're in bed and you're getting ready and you're like, boy, I wonder where is there going to be one of the kitty cats that comes into the bed tonight? Because it's a real fucking shit show when one of them's in bed and the other one just hops up on bed, didn't know that the other one was on the bed. Then it's just like, and the lights are off, and I don't know about most people how you guys sleep, but you're not usually in the most protective clothing. I like to sleep light. I usually sleep on top of the blankets, at least for the beginning of the night. So maybe I might have a sheet over me, but I mean, it's a precarious position. It's dangerous. Dom got bit. It's a like I said, it's a real shit show because they surprise each other and they're relaxed usually. Usually they're if they're laying on you, they're cuddling on the bed or something. Then it's and then the other one just pops up and is just like immediately. Or it happens somewhere in the house and then you have to turn on a light and try to find them and tell them, "Hey!" And then you're the guy in the middle of the night screaming, "Hey!" in the middle of a dark house. Like I said, I don't know the neighbor. I don't know what the neighbor's perception is, what they think, because they have to. I mean, even if they don't hear all of it, that's in the middle of the night, cutting through the silence like that. There has to be a gigantic guy stomping his feet and screaming, "Hey, God damn it!" And then Dom laughs usually at me for doing that. Imagine if they were human children. Oh my God. Kevin, I cannot even imagine. Could you imagine? Kevin Brocious is pounding off in the Instagram saying, "Imagine if they're if my human kids acted like this." So there's some shit that my buddy tells me about his youngest boy, and Jesus Christ, man. And I genuinely said it to him. I was like, that kid is so lucky. He's like very adorable. And I think, and not only that, like even that I'm saying that strangers think that. Like the when you can look at a kid a lot of times and you can go like, boy, oh boy, I don't know about that. But like when you see a kid that you're like, that kid's cute. That's a classically cute kid. Or like Jesus Christ. Or he's just like, or you have the little kid speech impediment. He has one of those like, oh, can I have some water? Yeah, like you're like, oh yeah. That's how it's the Sour Patch Kid scenario. It's that thing, but like that's a human. Like Stanley or them, like legitimately, I have made the joke. I know how other stand-up comics have made the jokes before, but a lot of times, like you can just have your pet killed. Like you can't bet on it, like Michael Vick, but you can definitely just have your pets put down. You can just pay for that. That's a service that is provided, and or you can donate them or whatever, give them to a shelter that you know what I mean. Like there isn't I mean there's adoption. I don't know how easy it is legitimately, and this is a weird question, and I don't know how many people would actually know this, and it's not even a Googleable, it's not even a Google, man. But how hard? Obviously it's a lot easier just to leave a baby on a doorstep or at a place or just somewhere. Easy as far as like physically easy. It's just do this and then run away and hope that there's no cameras nearby. Or how hard is it to legitimately just go? I'm sure there's a lot of paperwork. I know that, at least from my knowledge from the movie Juno, it's usually you have to get to know the family pretty well, and then you can either choose to have an open adoption or a closed adoption. Oh, hi, Chloe. Let me see. Do you have blood on you? Did you kill him? What are you arguing about? Is everything what? You got your voice back? Say hi. She said, "Meow wow." She's trying to say my wife, but it's hard to do with a kitty cat voice. I'm gonna clear her off a spot. I know she's gonna jump up now because she's talking a lot. But yeah, I can't imagine if you were a human. If you were a human, that would be so bad. Because I have screamed so many terrible things to you. There's times I chase her every once in a while. Like sometimes if she just doesn't get the fucking point, I have to chase her away from him. You know what I mean? Because like they said they couldn't stress it enough. They're not playing. If they're screaming at each other, they're fighting. They're fighting. If you think they're fighting, most likely they are definitely fighting. Oh, hey, see, told you. Hi, Chloe. Got to move my liquids out of the way. Hi, Chloe. Chloe's here. Say hi, Chloe. Oh, Jesus. If cats were humans, they would they would all be in prison. Absolutely. Walks up and down the hall at 3 to 6 a.m. Yeah. See, we all have problems with our kitty cats, you know? But that's the thing is like I always argue, and people have said this a lot of times. God damn it, Chloe. This is another topic I know that's been broached plenty of times. Is people say like, "Oh, cats." You know, people say that kids are like pets or whatever. Parents a lot of times are like, "That's bullshit. How you can't ever compare them." It's the exact same comparison. Like this cat, I love this cat. I absolutely like John. John still has the little baby. The little baby still has to do everything he says, except for it doesn't like I'm sure that there was times when that kid wouldn't sleep even in a quarantine working from home like that there's still that I had no like I was going to sleep with plenty of time to wake up last night if there's anything like that, but if I'm just laying in bed ready to go to bed, it doesn't matter what I have to do the next day, what my responsibilities were that day, anything. It's just like I'm comfortable, I'm ready to go to bed, and then god damn it I have both. And for humans, it's way easier. Yeah, see? Oof, that's rough. I still say because I mean, I guess emotionally, like that's the thing is still emotionally you have to do that. You do that math. You do the math of like no matter how annoying this motherfucker may be, even though I can just legally have it put down, like I could never do that. I could never live with myself to do that. I truly think that's the truest interpretation of love, and maybe that's just the most uh what is it? The most sociopathic way to think of it. But it's like it's basically loving things that uh you would never be willing to kill under no means. Like cuz that's the thing is like you can love something and then change your mind, but ultimately there's things that you would love ultimately and forever. Yeah. Yeah, that's you, Chloe. That means that no matter if you bit me, because we think about that every time we take her to the vet because she's so fucking fat. Like we think, oh my god, this is gonna be the time where they tell us, god damn it, that she's diabetic. You know what I mean? This is gonna be it, and then she's gonna be one of those cats that we have to give a shot, and she is not a cat. Chloe, say hi to Cricket. Say hi. This way. Don't show him your good side. There you go. There you go, baby. But I think that like if but we have to like that and that would be getting welder's gloves and a welder's mask and multiple protection, what is it, PPE or whatever, personal protective equipment, as much as possible, so that, or literally, that's where we get into the point where we have to pay someone to come over here. We'll pay for Clopoke to have an RN, you know what I mean, come here and take care of her in her later years. That's something that that we would do. I feel like I think we would have to do it where she would have, yeah, a bomb suit essentially. Yeah, that would be, yeah, something like that. Something, or a scuba suit, one of those big scuba suits with the helmet that goes on, like the AC that stick, or the little air tube that sticks in the top of the head, and you like walk in like this. Like we Dominique. Now, this could have been just the size of the cat carrier we have, because the cat carrier we have now is pretty much almost the size of Clopoke. It's something that maybe at one time she fit in, but I think we just had the wrong size cat carrier. So we needed to get a new one for her, because the last time Dominique tried to get Clopoke into the cat carrier, she uh, had to take the mattress off the top of the bed and block the door to the bedroom, because we don't have a bedroom door on there. We just use like a sheet, because because there's no door. And so she had to put a thing up there to block the door, and then essentially wrangle her up. I told her, just get a towel and try to like put it over her, wrap her up in it, and just kind of shove her in the thing, because Clopoke is essentially a um somewhat domesticated feral cat. She is a domesticated feral cat, a gross domesticated feral cat, because she's still crazy. She still has those crazy cat tendencies when you're like petting her. Like I was explaining to you guys, I believe in the last episode, she has this tendency that if you're petting her and you're not paying attention to her directly, it's bad news. Right now, she is calmly laying in front of me, purring her loudest. It may be picked up by the microphone. I don't know for sure. Right, Chloe? No blood on her paws. So unless she cleaned it off, Stanley should still be alive. So we got a bigger cat carrier for her, one with a bigger door and more open. It's like a duffel bag, one thing like that. But getting her to cooperate is just kind of hard. She doesn't like to be held. If she has contact with you, it's on. She jumps on your lap, or she likes to lay on you, not the other way around. So, you a good kitty cat? I think she's satiated. She's good. The beast has been soothed, but she's also laying on my notes. So I'm gonna just grab this real quick. No, thank you. Okay, so she's awake again. My cat seems to love wailing next to my bed at 4 a.m. Wow, Jesus, stop that! What are you doing? Where are you going? Hey, she's gonna go. Now she's gonna go shake the cameras for a while. Ron's saying vomit next to. Wait, what? Vomit next to her carved, and see how she likes it. Vomit next to her bed. My cat seems to like vomiting. Okay, that's what it is. Vomiting next to my bed at 4 a.m. Vomit next to her bed next time and see how she likes it. Okay, well, see, I feel like that's just good problem solving. Ian was saying that his cat likes to vomit next to his bed every 4 a.m., I guess, very consistently. And I think that I don't know if necessarily vomiting next to your kitty cat's bed will help, but it could be something in their diet. It's also like I said, the peeing thing, I don't know if it seems to be behavioral. But it's also like, man, like I don't want to hear about your fucking your preference right now. Chloe, come on, damn it. Hey, fat shit. Go sit on any of the various. We have a goddamn a pillow tower over here in the corner, right next to a nice window that overlooks the whole fucking little borough here. And she doesn't want to lay on that. She wants to lay on the fucking table right next to the heater. I should put the heater over there. That's what it is. One thing I know, though, one consistent thing with all of these kitty cats, they all love a heat source. Kitty cats love a heat source. That's over behavioral any day. But if we end up having, if like, that's the only hesitation that we have a lot of times with taking Chloe to the vet, is the fact that we know inevitably there's going to be the time where they say she's a diabetic, you're going to have to give her this shot every day. We're going to be like, fuck. Like, already she's not going to trust the first one. She's going to be like, why are you guys acting different? She could just tell. And then eventually it's going to get to that. So I guess right now we can get to the point where maybe, but at this point, any good behavior is being rewarded with treats. And it's the best case scenario because they're starting to learn at least. So I don't want them to be the cats that fight the entire time we're gone and just get along when we're around. But also, I respect that. I respect them at least saying like, hey, even though we're not cool, much like brothers, much like brother and sister, it'd be one of those things, don't fight in front of mom and dad. Because most of the time I will probably take the baby side. Sorry, Chloe. But also, like, true love is ultimately when you have the desire to kill that thing, but ultimately you know that you could never live without it. I should write cards. The Purro. There we go. John's on it with a fucking sweet pun. Yeah. Clubhook likes to overlook the Purro. That's her Purro perch over there. But also I guess only when I'm utilizing the computer camera, anything set up on this table here, that's when she likes to sit on this table. So that's her big thing. So I don't know. I'm addicted to snack cakes. I surrounded by kitty cats that are dysfunctional in almost every single way. But now that Chloe is away, now that the cat's away, the mouse can play. I guess since she's back over there, I can use this opportunity with access to my notes to get into today's word. Actually, so I had to make a quick change. I've usually I do word of the day, but for Black History Month, I've been doing words to celebrate Black history, which normally has been at dare.wisc.edu, which is the University of Wisconsin's words to celebrate Black history list. But it really, like, there's a lot of them. Like, I felt like I found the most relevant or the ones that I was able to do research the best. But I think that's just kind of a word for like word nerds. Like, there's a lot of shorthand stuff that I didn't understand, and there's a lot of stuff. I was trying to do ace, which is they said was a very close friend, and then I tried to look up like ace meaning, ace meaning in Black history, ace and whatever, and I was like, there was nothing on it. And I was like, I think they're just fucking full of shit. I don't know if any of this. So I don't know if joning is a real thing or jump salty or any of those other words that I was using. But I figured what might be better is to use quotes. So essentially, still words to celebrate Black history, but now they're in quote form. And I'm going to utilize the rest of the month's shows to elevate any of those famous Black quotes. So if you want to check this out, you will after listening to this here music right here. So Today's words to celebrate Black History. Starting off with a bang too. Right top of the list. First ones ever. These are from this is a quote from Dr. Mae Jemison or Jemison, Jemison. It's the she was the first African American female astronaut. So that's fucking pretty cool, right? And how perfect of a quote is this? Listening to the first ever female black astronaut saying, "Never be limited," or quote, "never be limited by others' limited imaginations." I fucking love that quote. Those are some words that like I feel like not just to celebrate Black history, but like also like absolutely credit the person who said that. But there's something about there's some I and I maybe it's again an undiagnosed possible learning disability, but it could be shorthand works on me. So like when you can sum it up in word with like perfect word economy, and you can have something so poignant to say never be limited by other people's limited imaginations. So somebody else, I kind of sum that up with like, oh, like, so a lot of times if Dom and I are talking something out, or she's having a problem with something, or I'm having a problem with something, and she says, yeah, but if I do that, then this will happen, or he'll say this, or this person will do this. And it's like, well, if you can see into the future, why don't you tell me the lotto numbers? Which is lame ultimately, but it's a great way to just remind you, like, remember, you don't know how it's going to happen. You can assume it's going to be like that. And honestly, if the likelihood is very great, I could even understand you saying like the inevitability, sure. But like to say, if I do this, this will happen. Like, unless you've actually done like actual math and like figured out the real, like, if it's just somebody's reaction, you can't gauge someone's reaction, or you can't anticipate, predict. That's the word. You can anticipate, but you can't predict someone's reaction. Not ultimately. You can. It's a because like I said, if you knew, then you wouldn't be talking to me about it, because either you already know the answer, or you've already gotten that answer. Like either you've already talked to the person, or you've decided that you don't want to do it because you just don't want to do it. But talking it out helps with us, Dom and I both. John's pounding off here. Ian, maybe we all just need to murder Pat. That way we can killing our individual pets. Uh-oh. Medea goes to the moon. Wait, hold on. We need a murder pact. Sorry, I apologize. Not murder pat. A murder pact. See, that's what I said earlier. It's hard enough for me to read just regular words written out clearly in front of me, but Ian, maybe we all need a murder pact. That way we aren't killing our individual pets. Medea goes to the moon. Great Shane Gillis bit. Hell yeah. But I think that there's John's pounding off in the comments. Sorry, I wanted to make sure I read that. But I think there's I think there's like a thing where, like, if you're not limited by other people, like that's something that works. Like, I was credited with something. Youngblood was and it was Youngblood, Manny, and I were talking one day before we were doing an episode of Falls Count Anywhere, and Youngblood reminded me of a quote, and it was fuck, what was it? God damn it! It was something that I said, and I remember, like, when I can, it always happens when I'm talking it out. When I'm talking it out is when I stumble upon the perfect word economy to sum up my thoughts. And that was, people people love people love hearing the truth until it's about them. I believe that's what it was. And it's like you love hearing like gossip, or whatever it may be about other people, or people your true opinion about someone else behind their back. But if you're giving your true opinion to someone directly, that's why they don't ask. So, like, I feel like that's why certain people don't ask my opinion, because I'm going to be honest, and not in like a like I feel like there's still going to be somewhat like I know the social contract, like, you know, not, I'm not going to be like what's the guy from Big Bang, like the Sheldon guy from Big Bang, you know what I mean? I'm not going to be like an autistic, like, well, it's because you smell bad. You know what I mean? Which, by the way, kind of was Kramer. Now that, like, I looking back in hindsight, that's kind of like Kramer was kind of not, he wasn't a genius, but he was kind of an idiot savant. Like, the Kramer character was very much like Sheldon. I don't know about his race relation. I don't know about Sheldon's race relations necessarily, but Michael Richards doesn't have the best. But when, like, they would oftentimes try to avoid having Kramer around people because he would be brutally honest in a an unfiltered type of way. So if they say like, "Hey, look at," like, one episode comes to mind, "Hey, look at our baby," and then goes, "Oh, that's an ugly baby," and they're like, "Kramer, don't say those things." It's kind of like the same thing. Oh, Kramer was 100% on the spectrum. Yeah. Which, again, not because of race relations or any of his personal dealings, but I definitely loved the Kramer character, and realized, maybe not even just in certain theories and stuff, but I think that there is a weird, he was a character ahead of his time in that show, as someone who was like, you never knew how he made money, but he kind of did. He's like the original YouTuber. Weird, dresses weird, does weird stunts, tries new crazy things. Like, if there was an updated Seinfeld, Kramer would be a blogger or a YouTuber. Most of the characters could stay the same. It might be a little bit updated, you know what I mean? If like if the Friends cast had to update, but like Seinfeld for the most part would be, could be closest, like could be closest to the same exact thing, except for maybe like Elaine would work at like a fashion website, you know what I mean, or whatever, instead of a catalog. I don't know why I'm rebooting Seinfeld. I could see Kramer being a cam girl in the new version. Yeah, that's our, or crypto trader. Yeah, sorry, there's not an earthquake happening. It's just Klopok being super fat on the table. Kramer would have an OnlyFans and a neck tattoo. Yeah, that's true. I think that's absolutely true. John's pounding off real hard. I like that. Ron and John connect, the Ron and John connection. I like it. Big Preem. We were talking about that before the show too. We were talking about how John and I, again, we weren't talking about Ron, but we are talking about how nice of a guy Ron was to us. But we don't know his we don't know his person. I've never met. I don't believe we've ever met in person. And if we have, I apologize. But like, man, oh man, he could ultimately be uh could just be like a unibomber, a unibomber type. But you know what? He's a good guy. You know, I like his character, just like I liked Kramer's character in the show, but not Michael Richards' character. Celebrate or separate the artist from the art, right? Ron John Surf Shop type. Oh, I like that. Ron John. I like that. I like that a lot. But yeah, we don't know your past, bud. But I still sign off on you. I'll sign off on Big Preem any day. Premium Ron pounding off on at Baby Mermaid Productions on Instagram. Again, remember, you can join in there every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11ish, depending on kitten cuddles, until 1. And you can talk more about kitty cat behavioral problems, the difference between the deliciousness of what's your favorite Swiss roll or Swiss roll sweet treat? I don't mind a coffee cake. Club likes those greeny treats. That's what we call brushing your teeth. You know, those are 50, wait, no, 5 calories a piece. Those are 5 calories a piece. I don't know. I was asking her. Like, she would know. She doesn't count calories. But there's there's different topics. The topics range every day, but ultimately, all topics lead to celebrating education for adults, bettering ourselves as we get older. Because otherwise, I mean, what are we doing here, guys? Growing doesn't stop ever. You should continue to grow every day, no matter what, whether it be in your kitty cat development, your kitty cat behavioral treatment, or your sweet treat knowledge. But it's okay to eat like garbage sometimes, and it's okay to fight with your brother sometimes, Chloe, and indulge in kitty treats. But ultimately, just be nice to each other. You know, I appreciate you guys hanging out, and I love you all.
Gross.